Greetings and welcome to Pickled Watermelon Rinds, a guilty pleasure podcast featuring Antie Joan and Ontie, providing our zesty and marginally mature take on current events, pop culture, and trends. Now we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, Auntie Joanie.
What up with you? Hi, Auntie.
How's everything going?
Did you hear that? That's me clearing my throat from all the smoke outside.
I'm going to leave that one in. Normally I cut those out.
No, I did it on purpose. Because there's a lot of wildfires out here in Colorado.
There are, unfortunately.
Yeah. And they're close to populated areas. However, they haven't done nearly as much damage as that Marshall Fire did a couple of years ago. So let's just keep hoping they get it taken care of. It's been hot and dry.
Yep, rain's a-coming, so hopefully this weekend that will help the firefighters, who have been doing an amazing job. Shout out to the first responders and the firefighters.
Oh my gosh. What kind of DNA do those people have?
I don't know.
That gets them to do that? I mean, in the heat with all those clothes on and thanks.
They've been able to put out a couple of fires pretty quickly. There's some that unfortunately are spreading, but there were two others yesterday, one near the Fort restaurant that was only 20 minutes and they had it out. So I don't know what was involved in that one.
Probably grease fire in the kitchen.
And then I doubt it, because then they would have to close the fort, and I think we'd be hearing all about that if that were the case. And there was something called the Lakeshore Fire, which is, I guess it was I don't quite understand 100% where it was, but they had evacuation orders for Netherland for a little bit. Did they? Mm-hmm. Just for like an hour, and then took it out. And it's all completely contained and never spread beyond 6 acres. It was preventative that they were trying to get people evacuated, but then they lifted the order. So, and my county over here was taking in the large animals and any animals, as a matter of fact, at the fairgrounds, and they're down to just large cattle or I don't know if they have horses. Maybe they have horses and goats. But all the dogs and those kinds of animals have gone back home at this point because evacuation was lifted. So, yes, it's scary times out here in Colorado. We definitely need that rain. Thanks to the firefighters. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, they are.
On a happier note,
yes,
I have to tell you some updated statistics. We did our top 10 list of listening locations a few episodes ago. And had some updates since then. I think people are in competition now. I kind of dig this. Ashburn, Virginia took over the number 1 spot from Aurora, Colorado, which is now number 2.
Virginia.
Crazy.
Who do we know in Virginia?
I don't know anybody in Virginia.
I wonder if it's an old boyfriend of mine, but then most of them are dead now. So,
Antie Joan, you're so silly.
It is kind of true.
Actually. And I did want to make a correction. I think when we talked about the top 10 list, I said that I thought Boardman, which is in the number 4 position and holding strong at number 4, was in Montana. I was very wrong. They are in Oregon. So I apologize. I had my geographic locations all kind of screwy when we chatted about it. But Brussels moved up to the 6th position from number 7. Tell you what. And Glendale, Arizona dropped by 2 to position 8. They were formerly in position 6, which left room for Baxter, Minnesota to go right on up to position number 7. So
Minnesota, huh?
It's very exciting. I do have to point out that Greeley fell off the top 10. Greeley, Colorado fell off the top 10 list to the 11th position. So tell us, Greeley, did we do something wrong? Do send us a shout out and tell us what we can do to get you back listening on a regular basis.
Finally get a job or come back from vacation that you don't have time to listen so much. But there's still nighttime,
That's right. And I'm happy to report that Grenzach, Wielen, Germany, joins the top 10 in the 9th position.
Yeah.
I gotta say, we have 5 total locations listening from Germany at this point. That's just amazing. The most of our overseas countries that are listening to us, it's Germany. And we dig you. Now, 2 locations
Ach, du
specifically.
lieber.
Yes, 2 locations specifically are regularly listening. The other 3, they kind of dabble. But that's okay. We'll take it. And sorry,
We'll
Joan,
take it any way we can get it.
say your German thing again.
Ach, du lieber.
There
Ach,
you go.
du lieber.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
2,5 Jahre in der Hochschule.
Very nice.
Yeah.
We also have a brand new country, actually continent. Dun, 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 dun,
What?
that has listened at least once to us.
Oh, please come back.
It is Cape Town, South Africa.
Oh.
Yeehaw. Thank you
Ooh.
for giving us another continent and for giving us a listen. And we welcome you and we hope you continue listening. So,
And I love your accent, too.
very fun. Very fun. So, we love all of our listeners equally. It's just exciting to see that we have quite the listening following across the United States, and we seem to be doing fairly decently in some overseas countries. So thank you all.
Yeah. Well, that's how the Backstreet Boys started. They had to go
Yeah.
overseas to get their start because the U.S. just wasn't giving it to them.
Tell me why. That's a joke that just keeps on giving, doesn't it?
Tell me why.
So what's been going on in your world, Auntie Joan?
Oh, where to start? So let's start out with Monday. Monday. I had a follow-up appointment with my pulmonologist. Everything went fine. However, I get there now. My appointment's at 12:45. And I'm worrying the whole time because I took a shower before and I thought, oh my gosh, am I going to be late? As usual, I'm usually late. I get there right before 12:45. The door was still locked. I couldn't get in. They were still at lunch.
Oh.
So I stood there maybe a minute or two, and then the office manager comes out and unlocks the door and checks me in and stuff, and I go sit down and wait. And another lady comes in, and she waits. It's this me and this other patient sitting there waiting. And, you get kind of used to waiting at the doctor's office to get in, sometimes.
Unacceptable.
All of a sudden at about, 5 to 1, maybe it was 10 to 1. Yeah, anyway, in walks 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 young people dressed in scrubs with their sodas or soft drinks or water or whatever. Obviously, the staff had just gotten back from lunch. So we had been waiting all this time. So anyway, that was one thing that kind of ticked me off, that they set an appointment and then they get back late. Then I think back to when I was young, when I was that age and going out to lunch, it was kind of like an open-ended thing. But
you didn't have appointments scheduled.
I didn't have appointments. And if I had a meeting or something, yeah, you better believe I'd be there. So that gets taken care of. I get in the car. I need to get some cash. So my old self, I go to the bank and I write a check for cash. And I'm waiting in line and there's 3 tellers open. On one end is this woman talking about some theft, some burglary that went on who knows how long ago. She's talking about this guy and the police and the sheriff and all this stuff. She's going on and on and on and on. I don't know what's going on to the teller next to her. And then the third teller is this young guy starts talking about his YouTube thing. Oh, did you see my YouTube thing? And so he and that teller are going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So meanwhile, I'm standing there waiting. I left my oxygen in the car. I didn't even think about that. So finally, it was a good 5 minutes of them just bullshitting, excuse my language. One of them finally left and I was able to get my monies. And I thought, that's ridiculous.
So sorry, I'm a little confused. So there were 3 tellers. Were there 3 people up at those tellers?
Yes. Yes.
Gotcha. But they were all just shooting the shit. They weren't actually
I think the ones in
conducting
the
a
middle.
transaction.
I think the ones in the middle were actually doing business. So I didn't even care about them. It's those 2, the ones on each side of him we're doing all this bullshit. So that kind of teed me off. So then I get my cash, get in the car, heading west, and I see smoke coming out over the hills north. And I'm thinking, oh boy, where's that fire coming from? And this was before all the other ones started. And that ended up being the one up by Loveland. That started that Monday. That was kind of scary. But I wanted to go by Moe's and get some bagels. Walk into Moe's. Here's this young fella, cute as a button. Actually, he kind of looked a little bit like Lance Bass, from NSYNC, only a little cuter, cuter. So I says, well, hi, what can I get you? And I told him, and do you want plastic or paper? And I said, oh, I'll take paper. No, I'll take plastic. And he says, good choice. And I said, well, you must not be from Boulder if you think plastic is a good choice, because Boulder is so ecological. He says, no, I'm from Boulder. So anyway, he gets me my bagels. Is there going to be anything else? And I said, well, yeah, I got some cream cheese, and then I'd like an iced chai. He says, oh, do you want me to leave room in it for milk or cream? And I said, doesn't the iced chai come with milk? Oh, yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I don't think the ladder extends all the way up to the roof here with this one. But anyway, we'll go with it. We get that taken care of. He turns around the little cash thing, to stick the charge card in. I didn't write a check. I paid with the charge card. Oh, no, I paid cash. So I said, I don't see a place here for a tip. He said, oh, we're not doing that anymore.
Good.
He said they finally started paying living wage, and we're not doing tips anymore. We're just getting paid the regular wage.
I wonder if they're listening to the podcast.
No, probably not. Because if you are, Mose, you need to give that fella a raise. He said, yeah, they started doing that. He said, I think there's other places that are doing that now, too.
I would love that to be true.
I know. Well, keep your eyes open, folks. You never know. So I'm looking at him, and he's got, oh, my God, these eyes. You could just get lost in them. And I said, I bet you get a lot of girls coming after you. And he kind of gave this shy little, I said, I bet you get plenty of fellas too. And he just kind of, shy. And I said, well, you've got beautiful eyes. Anyway, my purchase is complete. And I start walking out the door, and I turn around and I said, yeah, you got beautiful eyes. And I can tell you that too, because I'm an old lady. He smiled and laughed, and he said, I'll take it. I said, yeah, take it anywhere you can get it. So that was my excitement on Monday.
What? No, you got something else from
the
Moe's.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Talking about this fella, and I just forgot. So when I put in my order for my bagels, he says, after he put them in the bag and everything, he said, pick a bag, take one of the bags off that shelf. They're free. And I said, what? He said, yeah, they're free. And this was like 2:00 in the afternoon. They close at 3. And there were like 3 or 4 of these bags left. He says, take as many as you want. And I said, you mean bag? Take the bag, not take what I want out of the bag. He said, yeah, that's right. I said, take more than one is too many. Because, they were big bags of day-old bagels. No, take one, take 2, however many you want. And yeah, I took one, froze it, and decided I'd share it with some people's.
Mm-hmm.
So I said to him, so actually I could have come in here and just ordered one bagel, and you would have given me a whole bag for free. And he said, yeah.
You should just got the cream cheese.
That's true.
And that's it. Yes. Yeah. Auntie Joan gave me some of those wonderful bagels, and I had one just before this podcast, as a matter of fact.
Yeah?
I don't own a toaster, so I did have to take the bagel out of the freezer and popped it in the microwave for 30 seconds, and then you heat up a frying pan with nothing on it, and then just put the bagels down and they toast. That's how I toast stuff these days.
Oh,
so
never thought of that.
And they were perfect. It was perfect. It was like we had gone there and asked them to toast it and put cream cheese on or whatever. So that's a nice little trick. It was just a non-stick fry pan.
Oh, it's a non-stick?
Yeah. And I didn't put anything on it. I just plop the bagels down on it, and didn't take long, probably about maybe 5 minutes for the first, because the pan was still heating up too. So about 5 minutes the first side, and then I just briefly put it on the side that had the everything seasoning on, just to warm it up.
Well, that's a wonderful workaround. See, when
Yes.
you told me you didn't have a toaster, I thought, well, you can turn on the broiler in your oven. And yeah, that's what we used to do. I never thought of using a frying pan. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was quick and easy, and my house is very small, so I have to be very discerning with the appliances I have. I used to have a toaster oven when I think I bought it not long after I moved in. I barely ever used it. I'm like, this thing is just taking up space on my counter. I don't have that much counter space to begin with. I'm like, I can't stand that it just sits here, and I barely use it. And then I thought about, once I got rid of that, to get like what you have, the 4-slice toaster kind of thing, or the wide toaster. It's been sitting in my cart for months on Amazon, because I'm just like, I don't know if I'm going to use this. Like, I hate to, again, take up the space if I'm not going to use it.
I only used 2 of the slots. I don't know why I got 4. I think maybe they were cheaper or something at the time. I don't know.
Well, you always think, what if somebody comes over, and might as well have. So I get
don't
it.
think that anymore. No.
Because that's, hey,
People
I
don't
come
come
over.
over.
You should think of me. Thank you very
Well,
much.
yeah, but
Oh, I don't count? That's nice.
you do count. You
I don't
count.
think so.
You count. I gave you some GD bagels
You
for crying
sure
out loud.
did. There, and some garlic. You gave me
Garlic,
some
yeah.
garlic. Garlic
Oh,
is
and the
good.
plant-based mayonnaise.
You gave me. But tell them why you gave me the plant-based mayonnaise, Auntie Joan.
Because I was going to make potato salad and didn't, because we didn't go to the family function.
And then I said, why don't you keep it for next time you make the potato salad? And you said,
I have a smaller container that I forgot I had. I hope it's still good. I should check the expiration
I'm
date.
sure it's fine. I'm sure there's no egg in it, so it should be fine.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It'll last forever. Even if it expires, don't get rid of it. It's fine.
I'll just give it to you then,
Perfect.
the next time you
Fine with me.
Oh, speaking of giving, by the way, Saturday the peaches are coming in.
Yay.
So you said you wanted some.
Yeah.
And the farm stands are open, and I got some wonderful corn on the cob. Oh, yum, 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 yum.
I did try one of the tomatoes I got from that farm with you yesterday, and it's good. It was really good.
But not as flavorful as on the vine, because those, they said, are hot house.
Yeah. But it was good. It was
Yeah.
definitely good. Happy I bought them. Not upset I bought them at all. Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
Better than the grocery store.
And if you got $15 you don't know what to do with, you can buy a watermelon there, for crying out loud. $15 for a watermelon,
That's
I thought was a
crazy.
bit much.
Yes.
And what did you get there?
I went and picked my own flowers.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was fun. So many grasshoppers all over their flowers. They were kind of creeping me out. And one of that sunflower I ended up cutting for myself. There was a grasshopper on it, and he wouldn't get off. I had to flick him. I was like, hey, I want this one. You have to get off now.
They can do serious damage.
To what?
The grasshoppers, to anything with leaves.
So they're bad to have there.
Yeah.
Oh, because they had beautiful basil. I mean, I don't know if the grasshoppers just haven't found the basil, or maybe basil because of the scent. They don't like it. Because it was beautiful. I wanted to cut some for myself so bad. And I was like, she didn't tell me I could cut my own herbs.
Yeah.
She just told me I could cut my own flowers. A little bummed because it looked really pretty. Like they would have been.
Did you
really
have
good
any of
basil.
the corn yet?
Not yet.
It's good.
Not
It's
yet.
good.
I got some zucchini too. I haven't had that yet. So, all ready for me. I'm excited.
There we go, talking about food.
Of course. That's what
Go
we
from
do.
bagels to zucchini.
Hey, we're talking about vegetables. Nothing wrong with that.
Good and good for you.
That's right. Didn't
what
you
else?
want to give a shout out to somebody?
Oh, yes. On Facebook, one of my step-grandson's name came up in the friend you may know category. And I just happened to go and look at his page, and I see he's got this link to Girl, Did You Hear? It's his wife, Jessica, and her friend are doing their own podcast, and they're both turning 40 this year. What I found interesting is they did their take on Dancing for the Devil. And it was interesting to get their point of view from that generation. They were kinder, much kinder than we were.
They'll learn.
Yeah. was interesting because they did the review on that series and then they went and talked about fashion and how hard it is for them to find appropriate fashion for their age. And I thought 30 years ago, I was your age. I was saying the same thing. Just couldn't find decent clothes for older, well, mature women. And then 30 years ago, when Britney Spears and all them were out, they had those little hip-hugging pants with the crop top shirts, and they were all showing off their abs and stuff like that. So that was the fashion then. Yeah, we were really at a loss, us older gals.
Gotcha.
Well, some of us. So, yeah, if you're interested in what 40-year-olds are thinking, girl, did you hear?
There you go.
Might be an interesting place to tune in.
Very cool. I wish them luck.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
yes.
Because it's relatively new, yeah?
From what I could find out, they started in May.
Okay. Well,
So
good luck
maybe
to you, girls.
Maybe they heard our show and thought, well, we can do that.
Maybe. But
Like I say,
you didn't talk to them, so how would they know?
not yet. But they're doing theirs on YouTube. You know, they're a bit different than us that way.
Well, cool.
Oh, and then the other exciting thing that happened is the puppies went home. Boo.
Is
For
it
me?
boo?
No, not really. I mean, they're really cute, and it's fun to have them cuddle in bed and stuff. But I'll tell you, Oscar just had no patience at all. I felt so bad for him. I mean, he would be moaning and groaning, and then sometimes he would just be totally unfazed by him. Yeah, I don't know. He's glad, I think, that they're gone. So I know he's glad. And then as soon as they go, who walks in the front door but Auntie? And it's like, he can't cut a break, that poor guy.
Poor Oscar. All the creatures that he despises come one after another.
Well, it'll be nice and quiet for him for a while now.
Yes. For a few
And
weeks until the beast comes.
Well, he gets along just fine with Mr. K. So I haven't told him that's coming up yet. And then Isis, she was pretty much oblivious to him. But it's funny because the first morning those dogs were here, I go out, there's falling down back porch I've got all screened in and stuff. Isis, one of my cats sometimes likes to go out there and just kind of bask in the heat and what have you. She wanted to go out. So she was out there on this back porch thing, and out go the dogs. It's time for them to go out and do their thing. And Isis was between the door and the dogs were totally intimidated by Isis. They did not want to cross her at all.
Oh,
I had to really coax them to get him to go around her, but holy smokes. And so I mentioned it to their mom when they picked her up, and he says, yeah, her cats don't give them any peace at all either. They just let them have it. So the cats there kind of rule the roost also. Yes. But Ophelia, she kind of liked to get things started with Oscar, and he just would have nothing to do with it. So yeah. But all is back to normal now.
Well, good.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now we're on to the part of our program where we're going to discuss what we are watching. And Auntie Joan, what you watching?
Well, I think I have found my new favorite movie ever.
Really?
Yes, really. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Starring Leonardo DiCaprio, who I love. Brad Pitt, who he's okay. And Margot Robbie. And this is a comedy drama thing set in 1969 Los Angeles. And it's about a fading actor played by Leonardo DiCaprio and his stunt double played by Brad Pitt as they navigate the rapidly changing film industry with the threat of the Tate murders looming. If you were alive and adult, maybe even teenager during this time, this was big news, the Tate murders. And even afterwards, I mean, people are still talking about Charlie Manson. He's right up there with Adolf Hitler, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And this was the first film Quentin Tarantino made without being involved with Harvey Weinstein, because this was done after all the Me Too stuff went on, when Harvey Weinstein was exposed for all his dalliances and
Mm-hmm.
sexual,
Mm-hmm.
misconduct. Why do I love this movie? Well, because it's very reminiscent of that time. I love the scenery. I love the cars. I love the wardrobe. I love the music. And I just Leonardo and Brad are just so good together in this. They really pair it pretty well. Margot Robbie's character, she plays Sharon Tate. She has very little speaking in this role. She's quite a presence. I mean, she's a significant part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Brad Pitt won Best Supporting Actor for his role in this movie.
That's
And
because he
this is
took his shirt off.
I wonder how many women thought the same thing you did, Auntie, when he did that scene up on the roof. He went to fix the antenna on. Oh, now see, I'm gonna get Rick Dalton. That's Leonardo DiCaprio's character. Brad Pitt plays Cliff. I mean, I went to Wikipedia and because I wanted to do a deep dive onto this, and they tell you be careful what you read because not all of it's true, but they really did some interesting backstory on this. I mean, if you have any interest in this movie, go to the Wikipedia site and read about it because it's just so interesting what characters these characters are based on. I mean, a lot of characters in the movie are based on real life people. There's a lot of cameos, a lot of big name actors playing tiny parts. For instance, Bruce Dern, who
Mm-hmm.
plays George Spahn, the old guy who owned the Spahn Ranch where the Manson family all lived.
Mm-hmm.
Al Pacino,
Mm-hmm.
he played Marvin Schwartz, not Schwartz, Schwartz. And he was a guy trying to get Rick Dalton, Leonardo DiCaprio, to start starring in some Italian westerns, spaghetti westerns. He's really good in that too. Lena Dunham
Mm-hmm.
from Girls on HBO. She's in it. She plays one of the Manson crew. Dakota Fanning plays Squeaky Fromm. Rumor Willis is in it. And Kurt Russell.
Mm-hmm.
He plays that Leonardo DiCaprio tries to give Brad Pitt a spot in one of his movies. And yeah, it all goes crazy. So it's just all these big names. I mean, there's others that I don't know who they are, but I love it. One of my favorite movies. It's probably the favorite movie for me of all time.
Nice.
Now, I used to love, and I still do, Fight Club, another Brad Pitt movie.
Mm-hmm.
And you may think I'm, a Brad Pitt freaky lady, but not really. He's made good choices on the roles he plays, as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So,
agree.
what say you, Auntie?
I wasn't
didn't like
as enamored with that movie. It was kind of slow for me. It just felt choppy, like a lot of what's his face's movies.
Quentin Tarantino's.
Yeah. And of course, it had to be a big violent scene at the end because there's nothing like a Quentin Tarantino movie without the violence.
Oh, I loved that scene. I mean,
But at least it was at the end, so it wasn't throughout, which was interesting. That's not typical for him. He usually has the violence throughout, but he waited until the end, so that was at least something.
Yes. It was perfect. I mean, I hate to see bloody, violent scenes, but this one was. I mean, just based on who gets it, made me feel good.
Yeah, I thought the flamethrower thing was stupid, honestly.
I loved it.
I just thought that
I
was-
loved it. It was
Yeah.
perfect. It was perfect.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm glad I saw it. I've been wanting to see it for a long time and forgot about it for the longest time. And so I'm glad I saw it, but it's definitely not even in my top 50.
Oh my gosh.
No,
No.
not for me. No.
Well,
No.
see, now I think that's a generational thing because I got so into the time frame,
Mm.
like 1969 when they showed him on Hullabaloo. You don't know what Hullabaloo is. I loved that show. I used to
Mm-mm.
watch it every week. That was perfect. And when they showed film clips like from the old black and white westerns and
Mm-hmm.
stuff that he did, they were so good. They just really reflected the time that was
Mm-hmm.
on that. So, and this is something that means more to me than it would to you. You're entitled,
I know.
and so am I.
Yep. No one said we weren't.
That's right. I'm just looking through here. Oh, they actually recreated the Spawn Ranch for this. They
Hmm.
had to recreate it because the original one was burned in a wildfire in 1970, but they recreated it in detail, supposedly. And the Playboy Mansion, where the it kind of starts out. That's one of the early scenes where Sharon Tate goes with Roman Polanski and sees Michelle Phillips and Mama Cass. That was actually filmed at the Playboy Mansion, but it had already been sold to somebody because Hugh Hefner had died. Burt Reynolds supposedly was originally signed up to play the Mr. Spawn, but he died the September before they started filming.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when they filled in with Bruce Dern.
Gotcha.
So if you have any interest in the 1969 era, give or take a few years,
Mm-hmm.
you'd love this. You'll love this movie.
Very cool.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes. On the Hulu.
And the
Yes.
ending. Oh, the first time I watched the movie, mind you, the first time. It's almost 3 hours, but still, as we get closer and closer to the night of that the actual Tate murders happen, I found myself getting very, very nervous. What's going on here? How are they going to deal with this? And the way they dealt with it was priceless. It had such a wonderful ending. Mm-mm-mm. And that's it. I'm sorry you didn't enjoy it as much as I did, but
That's
that's
all right.
okay. Yeah.
That's totally fine. I did notice that Leonardo DiCaprio is very tall,
Yes. That's, I think, why I like him.
considering how many the
Hmm.
people that were around him. Because Brad Pitt, he's not 6 feet, but I think he's 5'11". He's not. He's close.
Yeah, he's no.
And supposedly Leonardo's only 6 feet. I'm like, he's more than an inch taller than Brad Pitt. So I don't know who's lying about their height. One of them is
Maybe Brad's wearing lifts.
maybe, I don't know,
Hmm.
because he was towering over everybody in the film. That definitely stood out.
I love the dog in it.
Mm-hmm.
Very well trained.
Mm-hmm.
Very well trained.
Indeed.
I got to get me one of them. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now we're on to the part of the program where we discuss commercials we have to talk about. Today, we're going to chat about Homes.com with Dan
Mhm.
Levy and Heidi Gardner. There's a couple of them. There was a helicopter one and the haircut. There's probably more. I don't know. These are the ones that I've seen and sent links to Auntie Joan for. And Dan Levy, I love you so much. So very much from Schitt's Creek. And I have not enjoyed a single thing you've been in since. It's really disappointing to me. I hate these commercials with an almighty passion.
Oh, you do?
I do. I absolutely hate them. They're so overacted, just terrible.
I'm
And
surprised.
I know. I love him. I absolutely love him. But every single project he is now, I should take that back. There was one project that I still liked him in after that, and it was a short-lived series on, I think, Max. I'm not 100% sure, but it was a cooking show. And he wasn't cooking. They had cooking contestants come on, but he was one
Oh.
of the panel judges, and he just loves to eat. I mean, his character from Schitt's Creek is accurate. This guy just loves to eat. So he was one of the panelists on that. And he was kind of the host and that kind of thing. But every single else, that other movie that he did that he wrote, I can't even remember the name of it that we reviewed previously. It was terrible. I
Oh,
think
yeah,
these
yeah.
commercials are terrible. I'm just like, oh, Dan. I don't know. Maybe it was the magic combination of him working with his dad. Because I was excited for him to branch out and not be with his dad anymore. But if this is the kind of crap he's gonna produce, I just, it makes me sad. Because Schitt's Creek is still one of my all-time favorite shows, and I still watch it on repeat. Not every day, but I do watch it multiple times a year from start to finish.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. So it's just disappointing to see the kinds of stuff he's been doing since. But that's my take on it. What'd you think of him, Auntie Joan?
Well, when I've seen the commercials on your regular TV, they like cut him off at the wrong place. And
maybe that's what's bugging me.
And I looked at the ones you sent me,
Mm-hmm.
and the first one, the longer one, was okay. But I really liked the one with the haircuts. I thought that really kind of sent, I just liked the way it zoomed in on how you can judge the neighborhood you're going to be living in.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of haircuts are you going to get? What's popular there? So I like that one. Yeah, I don't know. Now, what I did like about the first one, the longer one, was Jeff Goldblum. He was in that.
The helicopter one? Not the haircut one.
The helicopter one.
Ah.
With the bottle of champagne that bursts into the window. Yeah.
Yeah, I do love Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I thought, did he do some of these Holmes commercials before them?
I think so. Now that you say that.
What he did was apartments.com.
That's
his thing. Yeah.
Maybe they're affiliated. That's how he got involved in that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
Kind of sounds like it would, wouldn't it? They'd
Maybe.
be connected somehow. Yeah.
Beats me. Yeah, fell flat. I'm so looking forward to the day Dan Levy does something that I'm super excited about again.
Okay, now, we talked about my movie, and we'll talk about your commercial. The guy you like so much, Dan Levy.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Schitt's Creek. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you, the acting that he did and the woman who played his sister, they were so much alike. I thought that was kind of overdone with their... So you're telling me this, but you really mean that? That kind of inflections and things like that. They both kind of talk that way, and it just kind of got on my nerves sometimes. So
I could see that.
that's me. I mean,
You're entitled.
No, I'm not. Are you mocking me?
I sure should am.
Oh, Auntie.
You're fine.
I'm fine.
You're fine, sister. You fine.
I'll be the judge of that.
So yeah, I think the helicopter one was a Super Bowl commercial. That's why it's so long. And I think that's around the time I first saw it. And I was like, oh. And I saw him. I was like, cool. What's this one? This is going to be good. And then I'm like, oh, boo. And then the new one, or the newer one, I may have come out Super Bowl II. I have no idea. But I only saw it not that long ago, the haircut one. And I was like, all right, maybe they'll reprieve themselves. Not for me.
That's the first time I've seen the haircut one. I think that's the best out of all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't ask me career advice, so I'm sure he's doing just fine.
Well, I think he should. I know. I think he should.
I think he's doing just fine, making the choices he's making. I just wish he would make ones that I enjoyed again.
I have to make a confession, too, after we did our little thing on the Volkswagen commercial.
Yes.
Every time I hear, I am, I said, boy, I think of that commercial and I think of us.
Aww.
Yes.
That's very heartwarming, Auntie Joan.
My first thought is, we're coming to America. And then I have to stop myself, and that's not the song. I am, I said.
All right, Auntie Joan, anything else you want to bring up with our listener today?
Nope, I think I've kind of said it all for today.
Sounds good. That wraps it for yet another wonderful Pickled Watermelon Rinds episode. This is Auntie signing off.
And Antie Joan saying bye-bye now.
We thank you for listening. And remember, when life eats away at your core, make pickled watermelon rinds.